Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with an update to the Gruesome Zombies deck that I've been working on. Mess with the numbers a little bit. We're going to actually play a league to see how well this can perform, or at least a few matchups here for this to see how it can perform. It's doing phenomenally well against the Phoenix decks and other red-based decks. It still is very, very tough to beat any sort of control or any sort of mid-range based deck because they tend to stabilize with life gain, tend to stabilize with creatures that get bigger than you. However, if the meta does shift over towards more of an aggro-based burn strategy through the various risk factor type decks, or even goes to more of like a white weenies type strategy, I think we have some game with the Gruesome Zombies. So let's just go down the deck list. If you're not familiar with this deck, this is a zombie tribal deck. We are using cards like the Diregraf Ghoul and the Stitcher Supplier for early one-drop pressure. Stitcher Supplier is going to mill cards immediately, which this deck does use. Our 2-drop slot is going to have a Graveyard Marshal, a nice 3/2 value creature for 2 mana, as well as a Glowspore Shaman, which is not a zombie but does mill our graveyard, and we'll get to why that's important to it in a second. Then we have the 4 of the Death Baron and the Midnight Reaver. These are the 2 most powerful cards in the deck. The Death Baron, of course, pumping up all of your zombies, and the Midnight Reaver, Reaper, allowing you to draw a card every time one of your creatures dies. So it gives you that kind of longevity versus many decks. You can trade quite easily. In fact, it's sometimes I'll trade down just to get creatures in the graveyard. I've added 2 Plaguecrafters. I think Plaguecrafters has a great synergy with the Midnight Reaper, as well as it's kind of a necessary evil right now with Teferi decks and other, I can't have a Drake stick, otherwise we just lose. So Plaguecrafter does give us some added control. I'm not sure if I should go up in the count of these. Unfortunately, it does compete with the other 3 drops. I think if we do start to go heavier into Plaguecrafter, we're going to have to cut like a Death Baron or a Midnight Reaper. Then we have my own little tech here, which is Creeping Chill. Creeping Chill is the key card versus the aggro matchups. When you mill this off of the Glowspore Shaman, the Stitcher Supplier, or the Liliana, it's a 3 damage life swing. Another thing this is, if this gets stuck in your hand, it gives you a little bit of reach versus the decks where they think they've stabilized, and then you can have a direct damage spell to the face, or a couple of them. Very, very key, though, in the aggro matchups, because if you're going tit for tat, this keeps you ahead in the life race. And like, you'll be surprised that many of the red players will think they're the aggro deck. They'll swing in, they'll leave themselves open to the crackback, and then a card like Creeping Chill will be all the difference from winning that race. We also have Liliana that kind of plays that role as well. I've cut Liliana to a 3 of. She's kind of a redundant card if you have multiples in your hand, and the ability to self-mill is great. The ability to have added removal with the -2 is great. And the ability to cast zombie cards is also great. However, I think the curve is a little bit high. I end up having to cut a few of the higher end curve cards like Liliana and Gruesome Menagerie. We do still have some of them in the sideboard. Speaking of Gruesome Menagerie, it's 5 mana for 6 converted mana cost. I did cut one of these. You do want to see at least 1 per game. I think it's a key card to bring back the zombies and keep ahead in the card advantage. However, I have gone down to 3 of. I don't know if Creeping Chill is the right card to be putting in here over cards like this with more impact, but I do like the 4 of Creeping Chill currently in this deck. Creeping Chill could be something that could be just completely relegated to the sideboard and come in versus some matchups versus relevant. That is a card we'll have to wait and see how well we like it. But it does feel like we're running like a 56 card deck, with Creeping Chill being a free card that we often get with Lilianas and the Shamans and Stitcher Suppliers. Then we have the Molderhulk. This is one of the more powerful cards in this deck because it is going to be able to be cast for 2 mana quite often, and it does have this combo with the Memorial to Folly. The Molderhulk is a card that is, I mean, again, it's just going to be able to punch through the Lyras, punch through the creatures a lot of times that can come out on the board, stall the board, and you have a 6/6 that can easily be recurred through casting it with Liliana's negative for 2 mana often, and also, like I said, with the Memorial to Folly, it also can ramp you up a card later on. I mean, the best case scenario is you go first turn Stitcher Supplier, second turn Glowspore Shaman, and then you have a Molderhulk that's very, very castable, especially if you've chump blocked with the Stitcher. So Memorial to Folly has a combo with Molderhulk. You can Molderhulk, get back Memorial to Folly, and then chump block with Molderhulk, or just use Molderhulk indiscriminately, and then you can Memorial to Folly to bring back Molderhulk, to cast Molderhulk to bring back Memorial to Folly. It's a rinse and repeat once per turn. Very, very good combo. It's worth running a 1 Memorial in this deck. I would like to have like another land that, I mean, if the mana wasn't so hungry, like for the Glowspore Shamans, to want to be able to fix for that green, I think you could easily go something like the Field of Ruin here, and you could have some sort of Molderhulk Field of Ruin ability to bring back Field of Ruin multiple times, but I think Memorial is synergized the best with Molderhulk. Other than that, we're just going to run the 4 Overgrown Tombs and Woodland Cemeteries, and 8 Swamps and 3 Forests. So that's the main. The sideboard, I've added some control elements because there are decks that you do have to kill particular creatures. Necrotic Wound will come in versus the Phoenix decks. I do typically bring it in versus Boros Angels. Any deck that we can't rely on that we have to interact, I bring it in. We do have 2 more Find Finalities. Tokens is usually where this comes in. The Find is actually not that relevant in this deck because of the Gruesome Menagerie. I prefer Gruesome almost all the time over Find Finality. Speaking of tokens and mono white, Plague Mare, Plague Mare, Plague Mare. This has been a key card to clear the board of like Legion Landing tokens. And again, if this is a card too you can cast or bring back with Gruesome Menagerie, dumb down all your opponents for 1 turn, and oftentimes that's enough. So I think 4 of Plague Mare is a necessary evil in the sideboard. I wish it was like a zombie horse, not a nightmare horse, but it is what it is. Liliana, another one in the sideboard because when it's good, it's great. Same thing with Vraska Golgari Queen. We have a total of 3 in the sideboard, as this card is very, very good against particular decks that you have to have some sort of control. I'll bring in versus like Wild Growth Walker decks, anything that has a tough time dealing with Vraska, where we can put a huge roadblock through zombies just to chump block over and over again. Vraska is a great card. You have some synergy with killing one of your own creatures with Vraska to then draw more cards. And if you do get an emblem, it's pretty easy to take over the game just by connecting once. So we're playing 3 in the sideboard. I'm not sure if that's the right number. This is a card I'm still currently testing. And I want a Gruesome Menagerie because, again, when this card is good, it's great. And you do want that 4th copy. So that's the gist. Let's go over to the competitive constructed. And let's lose some coins here with the Gruesome Zombies. Submit this. And see if we can get paired up versus those aggro-based decks. So we do have game versus control. Oftentimes, I can be ahead and finish off with the Creeping Chills. What I don't want to see, of course, is Explorer, Dora the Explorer deck. That's probably the toughest matchup, followed probably by some of the Boros, the Boros that go bigger matchups. Those can be particularly tough as well. Other than that, though, we do have some... I mean, this deck has game versus everything. That's what I like about it. Typically, you do want to see a 1-drop. I don't like keeping hands where you don't have a 1-drop other than this is kind of the ideal mana. We have 3 mana, so we can cast both of these early, and hopefully we can get the 4th to get us there. If we're going against Mono Blue, that can also be tough. Mono Blue just seems to be a step ahead. We can't interact with there. All right, it looks like Phoenix. We usually have a pretty good... Well, I mean, of course, this could be control. But we usually have a pretty good... game versus Phoenix. So I am going to put this back on top, and because we do want to hit our 4th land for the Liliana. And again, if this is Phoenix, I feel really good, as Phoenix is a damage-based deck, and we have like renewable resources of damage. Lava Coil on, I think that's a terrible play on a 3-1. I think my opponent's just trying to absorb as much damage as possible. We'll just go ahead and hook up a Death Baron over a Graveyard Marshal. I mean, it did exile my Glowspore, so it's not adding towards the creature count, but it's fine. So this is probably just blue-red control. And again, this is usually make or break if we have a 1-drop or not. And unfortunately, we did not have a 1-drop, so we're not going to be able to apply pressure. And that's that. All right, so I might just go 2 Glowspore and Graveyard Marshal over. Casting a Liliana, I'm pretty sure my opponent has some sort of counter magic up. Let's try to bait out the worst of the options here with the Glowspore Shaman, and then we can throw out the Graveyard Marshal if this gets countered. They both could be countered. Yep, my opponent does lead off with a Sinister Sabotage. That allows us to stick the better card of the Graveyard Marshal. So we're in good shape here. My opponent seems to be pretty indiscriminate with the removal. If you're like this, don't play Control. Control is not for you if you're going to be indiscriminate with casting spells. You need to pick your battles with Control. And by running out these really good control cards, I don't think is the right. Okay, so we're gonna bait off a Rekindling Phoenix and kill it, and let's see if my opponent does fall for the bait. So we're gonna go ahead and attack in with the Graveyard Marshal, and my opponent will block with a Rekindling Phoenix, which will kill the Rekindling Phoenix. But this is a card I think we do need to take care of rather than going another route. So then we can cast Liliana, and then we can immediately negative Liliana, get rid of the Phoenix token, and that is that. So now Phoenix is not coming back. My opponent's down to 4 cards. We have a Liliana that is stuck. It can get shocked. It can lightning strike. But I do feel like we're in good position. We have a Gruesome Menagerie that can get our board back. We've taken care of some decent threats. My opponent's just going to run out of Chemist's Insight to try to find a land. Does find the land, so I'm thinking some sort of counter magic is up. So I'm going to use the Liliana's +1 right now just to get a little more information. And Creeping Chill, awesome. So we do get the Creeping Chill combo here. We also got a zombie in the graveyard. Plenty of zombies in the graveyard. I'm going to go for a Stitcher Supplier first to see if that gets a bait out. I doubt it, though. I doubt my opponent just Essence Scatters. But the way my opponent has been indiscriminate, like I said before, you can actually bait it out with Stitcher Supplier. This could be a Syncopate, though, and now I could regret. So, yeah, I should have played the other way around. Nothing does happen there, but it's fine. So, that one does mill a Gruesome and some lands. That was a terrible mill by the Stitcher Supplier. We are in very good shape, though. So, Blink of the Eye is just going to throw back a Death Baron. My opponent doesn't get the card advantage out of it, so that's a pretty feel-good scenario. If my opponent cannot deal with Liliana, we can just win the game. Immortal Sun. All right. So I cannot activate Liliana's now. However, this is a pretty good crack in right here. Puts my opponent down to a 5. Hopefully we can rely on Creeping Chills to get the rest of the damage through. Immortal Sun is a very, very annoying card. I might just take out Liliana's if my opponent's going to run that. We'll see. I'm wondering, we probably need to run Necrotic. Oh, geez. That was a bad card to run out. Let's go Death Baron. See what my opponent has. So we have all gas left in our deck. Lightning Strike on a Death Baron. Okay. Thinking my opponent's just going to crack a Chemist's Insight to try to find another card. See what happens. A Blink of the Eye can happen here too. Lots of card advantage. That Immortal Sun when it hits is really good. It's starting to find home in the meta as the format has slowed down. There is no Abrade. I'm really thinking the green-white decks and the green decks need to start packing in Reclamation Sages and the Knights because I think that's a pretty good play. Expansion to Explosion, and my opponent goes down to a 1 or down to a 3, excuse me. And now we really need to hit Creeping Chills. I could easily die here. 2 big expansions to explosions. The Immortal Sun's really going to hamper my ability to take this game back. We have hit 1 Creeping Chill out of 37. That's pretty low on average. So even if this Stitcher Supplier dies here, we could actually hit it. So Star of Extinction does kill land too. That's super annoying. See if Creeping Chill just hits here. And it does. Awesome. So we'll take action and just win this game with the Creeping Chill. Kaboom. All right, so Creeping Chill does very good here. Again, this is a blue-red control deck. I don't know if we need to bring in any sort of Necrotic Oozes or Vraska still seems good. I know that we like Gruesome Menagerie, absolutely. I know we got stuck with some cards there, and I do think we do want to bring in like Finality actually seems pretty good here too. But Vraska Golgari Queen, like Immortal Sun is an issue, and I didn't bring any ways to like rip it out. But Vraska, I'm thinking Goblin Electromancer's in this deck too, though. So I do like Liliana's. I don't know if I like Vraska's in this particular one. I don't know if we care about Plaguecrafter. Yeah, Plaguecrafter in this one, I think we just need to be as aggressive as possible. And so that way bringing in the Liliana's is more aggressive. So I think we'll just keep it as is. I don't see us making a lot of changes to this particular match. Our opponent seems to be well positioned, with now bringing in possibly like even more shocks. However, I mean, this really does come down to if we can get some fast 1-2 drops. This is an excellent hand. Unfortunately, with, man, these Liliana's Gruesome Menagerie, no lands. We'll have to find a land with Glowspore Shaman. Still probably going to go Diregraf in a Graveyard Marshal. And hopefully we can just be... I wonder if my opponent brings in the 2 damage spell to all creatures as well. Fiery Cannonade. So... Alright, so we will pay 2 life and lead off with a Diregraf Ghoul. That will definitely put some pressure on my opponent. Actually, I might go Glowspore Shaman here. It baits out removal over... Yeah, I'm going to go Shaman just because I want another land. And if it gets countered, it gets countered. Syncopate. Again, not really a relevant target for Syncopate for being exiled. Opponent has a Detection Tower. What the hell does that even do? Hexproof. Okay, search for Azcanta. Unfortunately, we hit another Gruesome Menagerie. So I needed that Glowspore to hit. Maybe I should have gone the other route, or maybe I should have gone 2 1-drops again with that being open. We do have a pretty good aggression going. My opponent gets rid of a Sinister Sabotage. I think my opponent is digging for red. Did find the red off of that, though. Otherwise, I think they would have kept the search for the Sinister Sabotage. Lava Coil happens, but this is why I say a 1-drop is so important. This residual damage we're getting in is doing exactly what we want it to do. There is another land. That's awesome. We'll get in for the damage first. Unfortunately, we stuck with Gruesomes in our hand once again without the lands to get us there. Diregraf Ghoul comes out. Stitcher Supplier comes out. And hopefully it's a Creeping Chill. It does not, and in fact, it hits a land. It only hits 1 land, though, so I'm okay with that. So unfortunately, though, we're getting to the point where my opponent can easily control the board, and my opponent's only down to 14. So I need lands, need lands, need lands, need lands, and need lands. And unfortunately, we did not hit a land, but hit a Death Baron, so this is actually really aggressive. Alright, so now we're down to 2 Creeping Chills. And we have hit no Creeping Chills yet. So that's the good sign. If we can get these milled off of like Stitcher Supplier. My opponent just scoops it up. Doesn't have enough control. So we're 1-0 with the deck. And we will go on to the next deck. Or the next game. That's what I like so much about this current standard, though, is when the meta changes, decks that weren't good can become good. It's funny because I actually built a mono-white tokens like week 1, and it just got slaughtered by all the Golgari decks and everything like that. And it's funny now that the Golgari decks have been kind of shut down, and now mono-white aggro is really well positioned. This is a very, very risky hand to keep. I think we ship it back. Our opponent does go first. Creeping Chills are usually mulligan hands when you have them in your hand. Double Molderhulk without any way to self-mill is a bad sign. So the thing about this deck is it does mulligan quite well. We're going to ship it back. Card is cursed. We're going to keep it, though, because it does have the lands. And I think I'm going to... we'll keep that on top just because Liliana to have the 4th. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay having the 4th land and then crossing our fingers that we don't draw anymore. This deck does utilize lands quite well, though. Like, 1 more land is useful with Gruesome Menagerie. Another blue-red deck. All right, Memorial to Folly. It is. These cards are cursed beyond cursed of being stuck in your opening hand. Search for Azcanta. All right, main is Search for Azcanta. 2 of these little blue control decks. So this will just come into play tapped. And unfortunately, I think we might be controlled out by Grixis control. These matchup, it is so important for a 1-drop. I love, if anything I could get out of the next set is going to be a 1-drop zombie, something like a Rakdos Cackler, but give it the zombie archetype, and that will allow us to have even more pressure for this zombie base deck. All right, so Discovery is going to allow us to hit a Death Baron, other than Death Baron's not that important. Opponent throws away a Moment of Craving. Because my opponent, I think, is assuming... Ooh, that's a better one to hit. I think my opponent was assuming that I was Golgari. And Moment of Craving's terrible versus Golgari. But it's really good versus zombies. Because we are... So, I mean, that's awesome. That Disinformation Campaign doesn't matter. I'll just get rid of a Creeping Chill. And here we will establish my waifu, Liliana. Feel free to downvote me for saying that. And we will go ahead and start the process of milling my opponent, or milling myself, or damaging my opponent. We do outfind the Molderhulk. My opponent's down to 15. And fortunately, we haven't hit another land yet. So that's exactly where we want to be. Nicol Bolas, at this point again, we'll just get rid of a Creeping Chill. And go from there. I could go attack in with Midnight Reaper and see if my opponent wants to block. Does not. So I think I'm going to cast these two cards over. So we find another Molderhulk. Yep. I'm going to go Diregraf and Stitcher over Death Baron. And what did we find out of this one? Another Glowspore, another. So unfortunately, we milled our Molderhulks this time around. How close is the settle from happening? All right, so my opponent needs to wipe the board. Liliana's still in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, two of the Creeping Chills got stuck. All right, so Thought Erasure gets hit. That's fine. Disinformation Campaign comes back. My opponent can cast it, draw a card. That hurt. That really hurt. But we can actually negative Liliana if my opponent does not attack into Liliana. Alright, that's fine. Liliana could die here from a damage spell. Alright, down to an 8. We still have 2 Creeping Chills we can hit into. Let's see, we can crack this, but then not cast anything, so that's not a good idea. I don't even know if I want a Molderhulk down. Cast down on the Midnight Reaper, we get to draw a card at least. And we find a Midnight Reaper. So we'll cast this Midnight Reaper. It's better than discarding a card. Alright, we're in great shape. We have 2 more Creeping Chills we can hit into, so even if it goes the long distance and we start milling Stitcher, Supplier, and whatnot, we could be in a very, very good shape. 5 is not where our opponent wants to be. Attacking into Liliana is a little bit risky here. I think my opponent has to attack into. Liliana Else Reborn is terrible. Terrible card versus us. In fact, this could just get us a win here with the Stitcher Supplier. Yeah, we'll mill then draw. Well, wish I would have... Oh, it was all lands. Lands galore. And we find another land. My opponent did not attack in. We'll go Liliana because we want the Creeping Chill win. Here, unfortunately, we did not get the Creeping Chill win. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. Memorial to Folly. Oh, yes, Memorial to Folly, we can do it. We're going to sack Memorial to Folly. And bring back Molderhulk. Might as well start doing this while we can. This cool combo gets back the Memorial to Folly. And attacking with both my cards. Get my opponent down to a 1. So now they're in very weird shape with where they're going to be with attacking or blocking next turn. Disinformation Campaign will probably come out and I'll lose my Midnight Reaper. At this point, I think Memorial Folly... Well, we can keep cycling Memorial to Folly. Yeah, I don't care about Disinformation Campaign. It's actually not very mana efficient with what my opponent's trying to do. Opponent has to attack with Nicol Bolas into Liliana. And then, yeah, there's just not enough. So too much pressure for Grixis. I think this one might be a Vraska match. So Plaguecrafter's awkward. I think Plaguecrafter still wants to be in here. I'm not sure about Fine Finality. Fine Finality, we might want to grind out our opponent, but I don't think it's... Again, Gruesome Menagerie comes in. I think Liliana is great. And the entire thing here is Vraska better than Creeping Chill? I want to say no. I want to say we keep it. I think Plaguecrafter just comes out and we just keep this list. Plaguecrafter can kill Nicol Bolas's. It can kill Ralzerix. It can kill Doom Whisperers. All those are more late cards. It can kill the Drakes. It can kill Izzet. All those are so late. I think that we can race it out. I don't think that Vraska is good in this matchup. Fine Finale would be the other card that I would consider, but I don't think it's necessary. I think we just need to get the jump on our opponent and try to pressure them enough before they can establish any sort of control. There's a lot of shock lands in this deck, tons. Okay, this is another hand that's very, very risky. Molderhulk, Memorial to Folly, Glowspore Shaman, Death Barons, Midnight Reapers. I'm gonna ship it back. Unfortunately, I think this is actually more keepable than, double Creeping Chill in hand is more keepable than what we had, but it has the double Glowspore Shaman. That is the key. We were stuck on like awkward mana, not being able to cast anything in our deck comparatively to where this hand would have been, better to top deck into something. Unfortunately, I think we're going to lose this, though. These Creeping Chills, they're cursed sometimes. They are... The amount of times these get stuck in your hand. All right, so we'll shock ourselves here. And we are not going to bring back a land if there is a land. And... Wow, Arena. The shuffling is amazing on this one. 3 Gruesome Menageries. Well, thank you. I mean, I'm just going to tap with this. Oh, jeez. Ah! No! I did not mean to pass it. Meant to cast a Glowspore Shaman. That was my bad. Now we'll try to cast one. Unfortunately, we should have some... I mean, it would have milled our Midnight Reaper. Let's see if this actually ends up being beneficial. I think we've lost this one, though. Another Creeping Chill. All right, decline. But this one's good, finally. So we're going to decline putting this back on top. We don't have anything to cast for 5 anymore because we milled them all. I mean, the mills have been pretty terrible, except for that Creeping Chill. So we get a Creeping Chill this one. And get our opponent down to 19. If opponent kills this Glowspore Shaman, we're fine. Another Moment of Craving. Opponent has the cards that are necessary to really stall the board. I think we've lost this one between my misplay and having Ralzerix. So Ralzerix is going to draw my opponent a ton of cards. Still can't even go Molderhulk. Yikes. Death Baron, Midnight Reaper's a little bit better than... Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, Ral's just going to give too much card advantage. Opponent threw away a Dream Eater. That is very interesting. And what with 5 lands do you keep a Dream Eater over? I think Dream Eater is just backbreaking at this point. Essence Scatter goes to the bin. Apparently wanting to hit land drops. And a Search for Azcanta coming out and holding up 4 mana. Unfortunately, we get really nothing here. I'm sure this is going to get countered. I think we need to ping Ralzerix 1 time. Oh boy, it's Vraska's Contempt. That one really hurts because we don't get a card. And what do we mill this time around? Land, Midnight Reaper. So Molderhulk is still not something we can cast with 10 cards in the graveyard. Only 4 creatures that we've hit in the graveyard. Yep, Ral does have to get pinged down. I don't think we're going to be able to get there this game. I think Ral's going to establish itself. Still don't know... I think Plaguecrafters can come in, sure. Eldritch Reborn, I'm surprised my opponent kept that. I think that's terrible keep. Eldritch Reborn does very little to me. I mean, that kind of helps me because now Molderhulk can be cast. Well, Ral is going to be ulting. I still think I like... Well, Liliana over Molderhulk? No. Molderhulk here. Memorial. Have to discard a card here. We're going to throw away a Creeping Chill. Seems to be the theme of this game, this match. Ral does ult. Eldest Reborn kills the Molderhulk. Unfortunately, I think we just have to try to kill Liliana. It's probably going to be Sinister... Whoa! It does not get Sinister Sabotaged.
The etchings prove one person's trash is another woman's honor.
So, I mean, we could be out of this. Highly doubt it, though. My opponent doesn't have any cards to get out of their own. I don't really have any cards, I think, that are too problematic. I'm going to get a Molderhulk, I would assume. So, I mean, there's very little ways that we come out of this. As it gives my opponent a Dragon Skull Summit. They do actually have a target. But, I mean, we mulligan and had a weird Creeping Chill hand. Opponent had double Moment of Craving. And a Vraska's Contempt. So, this next game we need to be quick. I'm going to bring in Plaguecrafter. We're probably going to take out the third Liliana. Eldest Reborn is so horrible, too. I think that's probably gonna get us. I mean, we're gonna try to go through this. My opponent gets another mold. Ah, this is another Molderhulk. I'm gonna scoop it up. There's no way. So bad. We're gonna have to adjust Eldest Reborns. Bring in Plaguecrafters, I believe. Jeez, I think I might actually bring in Fine Finales and take out all the Lilianas. I think that's actually better. Yep. We are just going to try to pressure our opponent as much as possible. Fine Finale gets us two more cards back to pressure. I think it's just better than Liliana at this point. Possibly I should have just got rid of Creeping Chill. I don't know. This one's actually okay. Unfortunately, we have the Woodland Cemetery coming into play tapped. So no 1-drop. But we have Glowspore Shaman. It's going to definitely... find us a land and pressure our opponent. Hopefully find us a land. If it doesn't find us a land, we're in trouble. It does not find us a land. Womp womp scomp a womp. Fungal Infection. Who plays that card? I guess my opponent does. Alright, that's going to be tough. I think that missing that land drop is going to be very, very... Oh, there we found a land drop, though, so it wouldn't have mattered. So let's go... This is kind of awkward here. Do I have 2 cards I can get back with Fine Finality? I do. So I think I'm going to go Stitcher Supplier. Hopefully it finds me something. There we go. Perfect for a Creeping Chill. And Molderhulk. I'm going to get 2 Molderhulks back. No, I'm going to go Glowspore Molderhulk, I think. Because what do we have? 1, 2, 3. I can get another Stitchers in the graveyard, though. Nope, I think I'm going to go Molderhulk. Nope. Oh, this is tough. Glowspore, shit. How about Arena click on the same card twice? There we go. Okay. So, in decent shape here. In decent shape. We've had some okay aggro going. Opponent's doesn't have a red source yet. Does now with the Cinder Barons, though, that comes to play tapped. We're going to go ahead and attack in with the Stitcher Supplier. Opponent should let it go through. At this point, I might go a Plaguecrafter. Or... Nope, we're going to try to mill some more. Should have done this the other way around. We're not going to put a land on top no matter what. Because the Stitcher Supplier is going to... Oh, we can go Diregraf Ghoul. I'm okay with that if we get a land. Yeah. We'll do it. No Essence Scatter on the Diregraf Ghoul. Opponent's down to a 16. Moment of Craving on the Diregraf Ghoul. Alright, well, that sucks. Sulfur Falls, no Nickel Bolas. We will shock ourselves with the Overgrown Tomb. Or let's see if my opponent wants to block first. Unfortunately, block on the 3-1 is probably the right play here. Moment of Craving. This can be a tough card for me to beat. Opponent lets it go through. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and shock ourselves. We're going to lead off with a Stitcher Supplier because then this gives us a little more information. And unfortunately it finds us lands. We'll do Graveyard Marshal. See if this one gets countered. It does not. See if something gets moment. Chemistry inside it in a turn. Okay. So, not being able to have a Liliana established does hurt. I'm hoping that Canellis Reborn comes down, because again, it's just such a bad card versus us with Stitcher Supplier. Ooh, that's a lovely card. We're going to run it out. See if it gets countered. It needs to be countered. This is a good card right now. I could either go the other Graveyard Marshal strategy. Alright, cool. So we're definitely attacking in with everything. See if this gets Moment of Cravinged. If that's the case, yeah, that hurts. That hurts really bad. Now my opponent does attack or hit there. So now we're open now for the Plaguecrafter. I hope Ral's Eric does come out so we can Plaguecrafter it. Eldritch Reborn's pretty terrible here as well. Disinformation Campaign. Ooh. Plaguecrafter it is. Disinformation Campaign is another weird card to bring. Ah, it has a Thought Erasure. Lame. Lame. Finds the way to rip out the Molderhulk and the card. We'll go ahead and attack it with everything. This is a pretty good play because I can go Stitcher Supplier and keep up Graveyard Marshal. So hopefully this hits a Creeping Chill, maybe two of them. Stop milling Gruesome Menageries, you dumb deck. We've only hit one Creeping Chill so far. We're in decent shape. A board wipe, of course, would be awful. Ral here wouldn't be that great. Yeah, Ral's actually, yeah, that's lethal. Opponent needs to have a way. Tapped out the black mana as well. I think needs to kill the Graveyard Marshal. So we will exile a card in the graveyard. Weakest card is going to be like a Diregraf Ghoul or a Glowspore Shaman if there is one. There's a Glowspore, right? Opponent goes down to 1. Are you kidding me? So I think we kill Ral. Hey, we draw a land too. This puts us right at Creeping Chill range. Puts my opponent really on their heels. We'll throw the Swamp out just there's no point. We have 3 Creeping Chills left in the deck. So we need to really, like, Vraska Temp would be awful because it gains my opponent back out of that. Not a lot of cards we've seen my opponent can put out. Like, Eldritch Reborn is awful. Chemistry's Insight is awful to try to find what? They played a land. I just think my opponent kept in some bad choices. Is there nothing better for my opponent to bring in? Any sort of stall would have been better than to keep in Eldritch Reborns, to keep in Chemister's Insights. Those type of cards, even Ral, are just not where you want to be versus zombies. So far 2 wins. We'll keep on going. And again, I hope you don't take it personally if you ever are the opponent that I'm criticizing. Take it as constructive criticism. I hope I'm never salty with criticism. Unless you're playing mono green. I probably won't insult you, but I'm just so... It has nothing personal, too. I'm just so sick of going turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion and a turn 3 Nullhite Ferox. And then turn 4 Galta. Ugh. So... Mono green is so bad, too. Without that draw, they're a terrible deck, and if you have any sort of removal, it breaks that up. But that's my own whinings about mono green. I just do not like Sam Stoddard. Do not like him. I think that he has ruined Magic with his linear Magic, where it's just all... Every stinking set is just turn your card sideways red or green. Can we lay off? Can we actually have some playing Magic for once? All right, so this is a pretty even matchup. I actually like this matchup because my opponent thinks they're the aggressive deck, unless they don't have the really good hand either. Unfortunately, we have to shock ourselves here. I'm going to go ahead and attack first. See if a Merfolk comes down to block it. Nope. This is most likely going to be countered. But I'm okay with this getting... Oh, it does not get countered. So, again, I typically like mono blue versus the zombies because our opponent put a 1-drop, we put a 1/1 power, we put a 2/2. The Tempest Jin is pretty good here, but there is no such thing. I better shock myself again. We're going to go to combat, attack with everything. Ouch. Don't think it matters. We'll... Marshal. Wow, awesome. And Stitcher Supplier. All right, so no creeping chills. Unfortunately, we got rid of a Molderhulk. Not the greatest in this deck though. Opt is not where my opponent wants to be. The best case scenario now, they can put out a Tempest. I think I will have to bring in removal though. Fine Finality is okay versus this matchup. I think it's too slow though. We'll definitely bring Necrotic. All right, my opponent just scoops it up. They miss on their land drop or miss on finding the Tempest or a Curious. Another deck that I think is just so reliant on... Jeez, I think Plague Mares come in this matchup. So reliant on finding a Curious... whatever the Curiosity type card is. I have a lot of options here. So first of all, Gruesome Menagerie is just bad. Creeping Chill is still, in my opinion, good. Plaguecrafter is also a card I don't like in this matchup. They have a lot of things that... I think they just get around it. Plague Mare, however, it does kill many of their creatures. Necrotic Wound is also really good. And that means that we have to make a decision if Liliana is just tempo bad. I actually like Liliana. The thing that we might not even care about in this particular matchup is Molderhulk. Molderhulk might just be too slow. Whereas I can bring in either the last Liliana or a Vraska. So I think that Vraska is actually pretty powerful in this matchup. Again, I have to make now the decision if Creeping Chill is where I want to be. I think we cut the... I mean, it is an aggro-based deck, but they get ahead of us with... Yeah, so I'll keep in one Molderhulk. Or one Fine Finality. Fine Finality, I think Fine Finality over Molderhulk. Yes. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with my own decision. All right. So I think that we'll kind of... Yeah, it's a tempo deck. I don't think the Creeping Chill is where we want to be. I think Vraska is quite strong. Kills the Tempest Jin. Dijin, Jin, Genie, however the hell you say it. I'm going to call him Genie. Tempest Genie. There is our Vraska. There's our Necrotic Wound. Unfortunately, we're really, really slow without a 1 or... Oh, we do have a 2-drop. Okay, this is fine. So best case scenario, we can turn one, we can hit a Stitcher Supplier or a Diregraf Ghoul. So see if my opponent does have the Siren Storm Tamer. Okay, hopefully I don't have the... so let's lead off with this, enter tap. Unfortunately, no 2-drop to, or 1-drop to, or 2/2/1 drop to apply pressure. Let's see if it's the Curious. No. Opponent kept a weird hand. Again, this is another deck that I think is so dependent. So dependent on having the right cards. I mean, you can say that about everything. I agree, but this deck is more susceptible to these weird awkwards having a lot of 1-drops without any way to support the 1-drops. At this point, I don't even care if the Graveyard Marshal gets countered. Do you know what? Midnight Reaper actually might be the cut. Nah. Merfolk Trickster. Opponent's going to try to temple me out. We have Death Baron coming up next turn. Curious Obsession. There we go. Found it, but a little bit late. I'm taking 4 here, going down to 15. Opponent's drawing a card. Like I said, this deck folds without this card. It's just so powerful. Oh, that's kind of... Oh, no, it's not. I wish it was actually a Stitcher. We'll go with a Death Baron. Wizard's Retort. So I'm going to leave back the Merfolk... Yep. We're going to leave back the Graveyard Marshal. Unfortunately, I think we might be tempoed out here. The card advantage from the Curious is going to be so good. I need another land to hit Vraska. Dive Down is fine. It takes out a card. It is going to protect the Siren Storm Tamer. Love to hit a land here. Curious Obsession now on the Merfolk Trickster. I guess we just go Midnight Reaper. That way it can block this Merfolk Trickster. Again, we could just get templed out. Double Curious out of 12 cards. The only card in the deck that is their savior card. Does not get attack in with it, though. So we're good. We're in good shape there. Can I get a land? That is the question. Are you kidding me? Knock it off, deck. Alright, so my opponent allows that to happen. What do we have? 2 cards from Necrotic Wound? Oh boy. One card in hand. I think we use it. One card in hand. Oh, look at that. Look who is out on top now. We block no matter what happens to this Midnight Reaper. We block, we block, we block, we block, we block. We hopefully bait out a card or two. Vraska, Golgari Queen, 2 victory. Oh, look at that. We are in great shape. Would have countered if they had it. Oh, no, it just dies. Yeah, my opponent screwed up. The Curious Obsessions die if they don't attack. And there's the concession. My opponent kind of miffed it up a little bit, I think. Not holding up. You need to counter the right stuff. I think you want a tempo. It's another very, very hard deck to pilot because you have to be very, very picky with the way you use your tempo cards. I think my opponent did not use that optimally. We were in bad shape there with 3 wins. Look at this. Look at this. 3 wins with our little Timmy deck. If you're new to the channel too, that's kind of my goal for the channel. I want to show different decks, not really wacky, crazy decks. I like wacky, crazy decks, but I want to be always as competitive as possible. And I'm not a Timmy. I'm a Johnny Spike. So I'm a Johnny first, then a Spike second. I do like competitive Magic. I do like showcasing competitive decks. This is a weird hand. I think I'm going to keep it just for the fact that I go second. But I don't want to just play bad decks for the sake of playing bad decks. To show some sort of wacky combo. I want to be able to compete. Opt comes out. We're going against another blue deck. Is that 4 blue decks in a row? Blue has come back with a vengeance after not seeing much play in Standard for a while. Search for Azcanta. Unfortunately, we don't have a follow-up. We do hit our 3rd land, though. Puts our opponent down to a 2. This is probably Teferi control. I absolutely hate this deck. Hopefully we can be quick enough. Hopefully my opponent just spends the turn sealing away this Diregraf Ghoul so we can hit a Midnight Reaper. Alright, so this is actually Jeskai. This is a tough call. We're going to go Midnight Reaper. It's probably going to get countered. Turn 2 Search for Azcanta is backbreaking. The thing is, though, we do have the... Ooh, look at that. See if it gets shocked. Revitalize. This card is seeing so much play because it's almost like a free card to stabilize. Opponent is going to use a shock land. I don't know what was up with that. They didn't need to shock that, right? I get to draw 2 cards. Hopefully we hit a land we can establish Liliana. If we can establish Liliana, it'll be good, unless it gets Ixalan's Binding. Glowspore Shaman. Don't know why I just sang the Glowspore Shaman. My inner boy band. And another Liliana. We have 1 more to draw. We do draw it. We pay 2 life. We Liliana. This can be a tough card for my opponent to deal with. It's going to have to deal with it immediately. Oh, I was worried about a Spell Pierce. I'm like, there's nothing my opponent can do. Yeah, they can. Spell Pierce. So that was the shock was for an opt. I'm not sure if that's... I think my opponent wants to get this Search for Azcanta flipped as soon as possible. And we missed. Hit a Glowspore Shaman with Liliana. Liliana missed. Hit some lands we don't want to hit at this point. Search for Azcanta is going to throw away opt number 3. So it's getting close for that search. And no play by my opponent. Alright, let us start the Liliana milling. Wow, I'm like, Arena's not even letting me choose it. I think I got a little bit of lag here. My internet has been acting up really bad. Hopefully I don't drop connection. This one does get a Creeping Chill. So my opponent is down to a 12 with the Creeping Chill. And wow, we milled some more junk. And I think at this point, I am going to go Glowspore Shaman. Hopefully it gets a card out of the way. Find some more stuff in the graveyard. If this gets like Sinister Sabotage, then we get a Death Baron. Either one of these isn't that great. Might actually just go Plaguecrafter to get rid of a card. Nah, that doesn't really matter. Decline this nonsense. And we'll go Death Baron. So hit a ton of lands again. We'd hit a Stitcher Supplier. Only... Yeah, we do not have a lot of creatures in the graveyard. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Camera's just Insight. My opponent's just trying to find another board wipe. If I can have my opponent play Reactionary Magic, that's good. We've hit 1 Creeping Chill. We have plenty of Creeping Chills left. Opponent's going to get rid of one of their win cons. If Teferi comes down this turn too, they're not in the greatest shape. They can go Teferi. They can go Deafening Clarion, wipe my board. We can start actually getting everything back with Liliana. That might be good. Izzet is going to die to Plaguecrafter. So I'm glad we actually have this as an option. And at this point, I think we just kill our own Plaguecrafter. I think we still take up Liliana to try to get this Molderhulk. Yes, we do. Molderhulk coming down. This gets the Memorial back. Memorial comes down. My opponent goes down to a 5. Look at that. This deck is doing phenomenal today. This is such a good showing of this deck just being on full cylinders. Opponent is down 2 Niv Mizzets. They usually only run 2 Niv Mizzets. They need to run out a removal spell here that only gets rid of 2 of them. They now have to deal with the Molderhulk, which a Lava Quill does deal with. That was 2 cards, though. That was still my Liliana can be ticking up. We can find it. I'm going to go for the kill with Liliana here. With still plussing Lily. And gets my opponent down to a 1. We're going to go for a Plaguecrafter to get rid of a card out of a hand. That's pretty good. I'm going to go Graveyard Marshal. Ionize. I'm going to go for it. What's the last card in hand? We sacrifice Plaguecrafter. And it was another Niv Mizzet. This is a heavy Niv Mizzet deck, so I know what's coming in post-board. Oh, no, I don't even have any more Plaguecrafters. Like, I'm going to bring in more Plaguecrafters. No, you're not, Kevin, because you only have 2. Revitalize is a good card to hit because it puts my opponent out of range. That was actually the only card my opponent could hit, was a Revitalize. But, I mean, there's not a lot of win cons left in my opponent's deck. That's 3 Niv Mizzets left. If we continue to grind out, this could even just win the game right here. Yep, there we go. Kaboom! Creeping Chill hits. That is game. So, Liliana seemed to do really well. Vraska not so much. I think Gruesome Menagerie comes in here. This is business as usual. We all know that I think in this matchup, like, we take out... Don't take out the Plaguecrafters for sure. I'm wondering how well a Death Baron serves the list. Or even a Molderhulk. I'm going to take out 2 Molderhulks. I want to be quick. I'm going to keep in everything else. So far, we can lose the rest of our matches, and I've been very, very happy with this deck. I think it's performed phenomenally well. And yeah, that's that. Very good hand. Now I'm wishing I didn't take out the good old Molderhulk, because this is a great Molderhulk hand. No, I got only 1 Stitcher Supplier. I was thinking 2 Stitchers there. So we have Stitcher Supplier into the Graveyard Marshal into the Death Baron, which is a very, very strong opening hand. Liliana's and Creeping Chill's not in the opening hand, which is usually where we want to be. This is ideal. You want to see creatures opening hand so you can have a plan. So there is the Steam Vents. I did not want to see that other land, but it is what it is. We get Stitcher Supplier, Midnight Reaper, and unfortunately, the Villainous is in the graveyard. Alright, so let's put out the Woodland Cemetery. Let's go to combat. Let's attack. And let's go Marshal. Opponent's got a good hand here. Death Baron, see if you're going to counter the Death Baron. If not, it comes at the cost of 4 life, which I'm okay with. Revitalize. Comes at the cost of at 6 life here. Down to a 16. Deafening Clarion can definitely wipe my board. Maybe I should have gone Midnight Reaper there, rather than Yep, happens. We get some more things milled. And unfortunately another land. So let's go ahead and go Reaper and Diregraf. And again, we're in good shape. We reestablished our board. Unfortunately, these Gruesome Menageries just love to be milled this game, or this little showing. We'd have other ones we can hit into. Looks like Teferi's coming out. Crackling Drake. Crackling Drake. We draw a Creeping Chill, so we'll just cast it. Kind of sucks. And no attackers. We are out of cards, unfortunately. I don't want to see a Lava Coil on the Midnight Reaper. That'd be the worst case scenario. Niv is that coming out here? Nope, Niv can't come out. Yeah, we shouldn't have called it. Lava Coil on the Midnight Reaper. Gruesome Menagerie, see if it hits. It does not. Disdainful Stroke. What is my opponent smoking bringing that in? I mean, it worked, but really worried about Liliana that much. There's just Liliana is the, I guess, Molderhulks. Let's go Shaman. Chemister's Insight. Shaman hits. Creeping Chill, Creeping Chill, Creeping Chill. Decline this. Hits nothing. Hits another Gruesome Menagerie, so that's 3 of them in the graveyard. Wampa Scumpa Womp Womp. I don't think we're coming back from this one. Chemist's Insight is digging. Needs to find another Crackling Drake. Search for Azcanta. Good card with the Graveyard Marshal. We are going to be attacking in now. Gets my opponent down to a 7. Unless there's another Revitalize. Wish Poison Tip Archer was a zombie as well and cost 3 mana. That's something we're reeling from. We need the Blood Arse effect that's reasonable. Alright, opponent's got a slew of cards in hand. Can cast the Izzet, no problem. Can cast anything. Can almost cast Fight with Fire. Another Deafening Clarion would be backbreaking here. Sure, my opponent runs like Settle the Wreckages. Coming in again with the team. See if a Settle comes down. Does not. Maybe I should have attacked him with everything. We're going to go for a Molderhulk here. See if another Disdainful Stroke hits it. Ionize. Okay. I guess I should have gone for Graveyard Marshal. Still got a card out of the way. Put us down to a 3 that's in Creeping Chill range. Hopefully not a Revitalize anytime soon. I think my opponent's, what, used 2 of them? 2 Revitalizes? No, 1. Okay, I'm thinking last game. Clarion. Alright, so Clarion would have mattered if I would have went with the other play. I think my opponent starts attacking in. Wait a second. Oh, choose 1 or both with the Clarion. I just realized that. That is a strong card with Crackling Drake. I think we just lost the game with that life swing. 3 damage and lifelink. Woo-wee, that card's good. What did I hit? Nothing. This game is close. Alright, another Deafening Clarion, we lost. Okay, so we'll go to the sideboard here. And still don't think I need to really bring anything in. I don't think Vraska is good in this one with, of course, my opponent bringing in Disdainful Stroke. I could go Necrotic Wound, get rid of some Drakes. Nah, we're going to be quick. We're going to attack quick. We're going to hopefully race out those Revitalizes. We're going to not have Creeping Chills in our hand. They are going to be hit off. We're going to go first turn, Stitcher Supplier, hit 3 Creeping Chills. That's what's going to happen. Creeping Chill, Creeping Chill, Creeping Chill. My opponent's down to an 11. I have a 1/1 out. And then have a turn 2 Graveyard Marshal. Get my opponent down to a 10. And that's how we're going to win this. You heard it here first. Positive vibes. Well then. How about a 1-lander? Well then. Positive vibes do not work. I think I have to keep this, unfortunately. Or Womp, 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 womp. All right, come on, opponent. Time's a-wasted. At least we both had a mulligan. Yucky yuck. We'll put the, unfortunately, the Menagerie on the bottom. Menagerie. And lead off a Memorial to Folly. And then hopefully get a green source for the Glowspore Shaman. Kind of weird, though, because one of my green sources will come into play untap if I go Memorial. But I still think Memorial's the right play here. Plaguecrafter's quite weak. Jeez. We did want Creeping Chills. We just didn't want them so soon. It was supposed to be a Stitcher Supplier and then these two in the bottom. Come on, deck. Come on. Don't do me like this. Yeah, I just feel I'm very far behind now. Everything's just going to get controlled out. This deck needs a 1 and a 2-drop, and we had neither a 1 and a 2-drop in our opening hand. Not like we don't run a low count of these either. Just had very, very weird... one of the cards on the hand is a Gruesome as well, so our deck really wanted to punish us. Drake still can't quite come out. Yeah, I'm putting is missing the double blue. That could be a boon. I'm putting could easily just run out of Clarion here. And that will be that. That will be that. Pretty good card versus us. Sure, I'm sick of this. We're kind of scooping up the game here by doing a Plaguecrafter. I am on tilt. Triple Gruesome Menagerie is what the top of the library decided for me, because one was scried away. Hey, at least we got a. And now I actually do want it from Teferi. But I mean, we need to hit a land here. We have to hit a land here. I think we're dead to Teferi. We need to hit green land, or we're pretty much dead. Because the green land then needs to find another land. Midnight Reaper's okay, but it's going to get lava coiled. It's been lava coiled every time it's been out. So, pretty rough on the mulligan with the Creeping Chills. Maybe I should have mulliganed again. Yeah, lava coil. This Midnight Reaper is just a lava coil magnet. And Teferi is just too strong of a card. In my opinion, this card needs to go ASAP from Standard. It's going to ruin Standard when Azorius comes out with more control cards next. So everyone should really enjoy Standard right now, because I am calling it with Ravnica Allegiance. Teferi is already strong. With its color pairing, it is notorious to be heavy on control, with cards like Supreme Verdict and Detention Sphere that could easily be reprinted, or even better cards, Sphinx's Revelation, those type of things. Teferi is going to get out of control, and it will be the next card banned in Standard. That's my prediction. All right, Cast Down was a pity card. Let's go to the next one. All right, Control. If we're going to Control Arena, you need to not put 3 Gruesome Menageries on the top of my library, please. Or Creeping Chills in my opening hand. Can we just avoid that? That's all I ask. I'm good to you. I pump money into you. Come on. A little bit of respect, Arena. All right, so this is a keepable hand. We have a 2-drop into 2 3-drops. We'll lead off with Overgrown Tomb. Enter tapped. And hopefully we do not draw any more lands. But again, our deck can use lands. So here is the white list. This is going to be rough. I don't want to face this matchup. Gruesome Menagerie's fine. We'll do Graveyard Marshal. Marsha. Unfortunately, though, it kind of pities or pales in comparison to Dauntless Bodyguard. We're going to take 2 damage. My opponent's going to throw out a Daunto Vanguard this turn, I'm sure. And then we're kind of in an awkward position. I don't want to trade right now because we have the Death Baron coming out next turn. Typically, the zombies I like to trade... Eee. That's rough. That's going to stop the bleeding a little bit. Knight of Grace, though, unfortunately has the lifelink. So this is Boros. Boros Aggro. This is a match that I do like playing against, as the Creeping Chills sometimes can put us over the top. I need to avoid Conclave Tribunal on the Death Baron. Okay, that's fine. There's another card you can put is Reclamation Sage in the sideboard. Well, I mean, good news is we're going to be able to hardcast Molderhulk. Bad news is we're going to be able to hardcast Molderhulk. We are definitely blocking this turn. double on the Knight of Grace. We could definitely lose both. We'll draw 2 cards, though. Get Gruesome Menagerie to get things back. No, we kill the Knight. Another Death Baron. All right, yay, we do get to take out one of our opponent's cards. Unfortunately, leads off with 2 more cards that we're going to have to deal with. Oh, no, even more. Healer's Hawk. We can kill a Healer's Hawk. Gosh, Liliana looks pretty good. Just kill a Healer's Hawk. Then force an attack into Liliana. Kill, block. Nah. Nah, we want to trade with those 2 Dauntless Bodyguards, I believe. Or with the Knight of Grace again. If my opponent goes attack here, we'll block again. Alright. That's absolutely acceptable. Like that. Two Knight of Grace is down the tube, and no play by my opponent. The Villainous is coming out. We'll just actually put cards from the top of my library in my graveyard because Molderhulk is actually pretty good here. And we do hit something. No attackers. Our Graveyard Marshal is going to trade with one of these Knights, which is actually pretty good because it gives us another target for the Gruesome Menagerie. Alright, we're in great shape here. Got rid of 2 of the cards that are tough. Didn't my opponent have Dauntless Bodyguard hooked up to one of these Knights and didn't use it? Alright, we are in awesome shape. Another Healer's Hawk. Molderhulk. Depending on what we hit here, we might be able to cast double Molderhulk. Do we have any lands in the graveyard? Do we have an Overgrown Tomb? Alright, that's actually the play. We found really good. Still only 1 Overgrown Tomb. Nope, we actually have 2 Molderhulk. And play tap because we still... Wait, yeah, play tapped. Because they're not going to be able to cast the other one. The Midnight Reaper. Because it just give us 1 more. Molderhulk. What if Necrotic Ooze even needs to be in this? I think Plague Mare will do the job. This opponent got kind of a rough hand, and there's the concession. So we're going to take out Plaguecrafters. They're awful in this matchup. We are going to bring in Plague Mares. They are great in this matchup. So you are out. You are in. You are in. You are in. Creeping Chills. This is where it gets kind of like Fine Finality seems really good in this matchup too. Like, I don't know where to go. Like Molderhulk was really cool in that matchup. I think it's out. Plague Mare's in. We still want the Gruesome Menageries. Necrotic Wound, I don't think we need to worry about. Creeping Chill is the card I don't think we want. And at that case, we don't really even care about the Glowspore Shamans if the Creeping Chills are out. So this could actually leave us the Necrotic Wounds. Yeah, we're going to go more of a controller out here. See how it works. I think that's where we want to be. Because the Glowspore Shaman is just inferior to everything else. Maybe we should have taken the Midnight Reapers out instead. Yeah, that's probably right. This is really slow, but we're going to keep it. Healer's Hawk. Lead off with the Stitcher. Stitcher finds us. Diregraf Ghoul and 2 lands we do not want to draw. So that was a win. Knight of Grace, sure. Memorial of Folly will come into play tapped. And no attackers. Necrotic Wound, unfortunately. History of the Benalia. We are being historied. We are history. Just going to throw out a Plague Mare. It's going to trade with a History Benalia token, most likely. Got a Healer Hawk out of the way. Opponent is missing red. I haven't even seen what red is for here. It's going to be for heroic reinforcements, I'm sure. That is very, very awkward that they're going to run a Plague Mare, Conclave Tribune on a Plague Mare. I don't know. I mean, it's acceptable. At this point, I have to go Overgrown Tomb. And we're going to go Midnight Reaper. And Midnight Reaper has to just block a Knight. Unfortunately, I think we're going to lose this. We're just going to be too far behind. So I might just like end up getting rid of like, ugh. We are dead to a charge, out of all things. So opponent had the nuts. I'm going to switch things up. I don't think the cards that are actually weak in this one, in my opinion, is going to be the Diregraf Ghouls. Necrotic Wounds actually probably aren't where we want to be either. I'm going to actually bring back in the Glowspore Shamans, and Molderhulks are still pretty good. So I'm going to take out a Midnight Reaper, put in another Molderhulk. I think this actually works out better. Creeping Chill is still out. Vraskas still seem good to kill. We saw Baffling Ends. We saw, like, even killing History of Benalia is not terrible. Yeah, I think I like this better. All right. All right, my dudes. Let's get a good hand. We lose this game, we are outs. We are outs. Ha! Ha! Thanks for giving me a 7-land, or a no-lander with a 4-lander. With all my forests, I literally have one more forest in the deck. Yeah, you are gross, Arena. You are gross. What's up with the runs? I don't know. Maybe Creeping Chills want to be in this match. Okay, stop with the lands, Arena. Stop it. Bad. No. As my dog looks at me like, what the hell did I do? Not you, Chloe. You're good. Decline on that. Decline putting another land on top. Unfortunately, we get a Liliana in the graveyard. We don't want that. Don't put out a Knight. We've had enough of your Knights. Legion Landing. All right, cool. So you're setting yourself up for a Plague Mare blowout. Setting yourself for drawing a Plague Mare here. We are drawing a Plague Mare off the top. This game. This game is just awful. Jeez. 7. So we go from 7 no lands to 7 lands, basically. So Legion Landing, unfortunately, is going to flip. My opponent's going to have a charge to save or to kill. We get to at least draw a card. All right, we get to draw a card. Awesome. I think that's a decent little trade. The problem is this nonsense. I can't even use the lands here. Depending on what my opponent does, History of Benalia, I think we kill a Healer's Hawk here. No, we don't. Plague Mare. Okay, you're... That was just awful. We can Plague Mare, get rid of the Healer's Hawk. I think I'd rather use it. Yeah, then we can kill a History of Benalia token. If we go Liliana kill, then it leaves Liliana open to die. This can come into play tapped. Hate using this early. I'm going to leave him back, to be honest. Lame. Because we saw Baffling Ends that can take care of stuff. That Legion's Landing is going to be very annoying. No Molderhulk in sight. Knight of Grace. No, that's the... Find Finality is going to be great next turn. Okay, here we go.
I've conquered death as I will conquer into the grave with you.
Hits a Molderhulk. No. 2 lands though. Whew. 2 lands out of the mix. All at me, huh? We want to see a charge here. Okay, we want to see that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, because Find Finality is happening. We just take the 4. We keep Liliana alive. I hope my opponent puts out another card. Gruesome Menagerie is actually pretty good here. But we will go with Find Finality.
Well, they aren't useful to me alive.
Alrighty, that is swept. Opponent is a little bit flooded. Really flooded, actually. And we're just going to continue to do this. Taking up the Lily.
I have a deliciously morbid.
We'll go Gruesome Menagerie. And grab Midnight Reaper, Glowspore Shaman, and Stitcher Supplier. An instant army. We don't want to land, so it doesn't matter how we do this. Decline. And I guess I could have got back the Memorial and then had the Molderhulk combo going. But this is just... we can cast Molderhulk with Liliana. And there is the concession. Woohoo! Our board wipes. And a little bit of mana flood on our opponent's side. Oh, they only had 5 lands. That's not terrible. We had as much of a land flood as they did. So, looking good. Looking good. I don't get to see what my card is because of the arena bug. They still haven't fixed, which has been a known issue since day basically 1. We've got a great team that is working over at arena hard with their naps and coloring their hair. You know, have to take those breaks to make sure that their pink hair is up to par, and you know, have to have those naps that Wizards of the Coast gives them around lunchtime. Great company, you know. Gotta take their employees' needs into consideration rather than fixing that bug on arena. It has been reported 9 billion times. I'm kind of salty. All right, so let's go to the next game here. This is an awesome hand. We have a very, very decent curve. We have a Molderhulk that can come out. We have... Ooh, that gave us a 1-drop. That was the best card we could have drawn into. The Diregraf Ghoul. Unfortunately, we see an Overgrown Tomb. This is our hard matchup. Don't you dare put out a Wild Growth Walker. Oh. Secret Squire is a little bit better. Assassin's Trophy is terrible versus us. We can't attack in now, though. All right. I do want to land here if we get one. Yep. Because of the Gruesome Menagerie. Merfolk Branchwalker. Good news about the Door of the Explorer here is there has not been a Wild Growth Walker. And throws away Llanowar Elf. Does not look like I have a... Awesome. All right. Combat. Glowspore Shaman coming in. Blocks with one of these, I'm sure. Awesome. Okay. Gets in the graveyard. Yes, we want to cast 2 cards this turn, so we will go Stitcher Supplier. And that was pretty awful. Found a Molderhulk and a Graveyard Marshal. Next turn we can just cast a Molderhulk. Jade Light Ranger. So did find the land off the top by throwing that away. Probably going to keep that. No, wow. Decides to throw the Jade Light Ranger. Really wants those lands. And don't know if we trade here. What do we have in the graveyard? Yuck. I do trade with the graveyard. It's gonna block with a Secret Squire. Why? Why is the J there? Oh yeah, because it can't block that. And then that allows us to do this and get back this. And then throw this into play tapped. And we're good. The reason I did that, it's just we're probably going to end up getting this 2-drop back. I don't know. I still think we need to get rid of our opponent's stuff. Here's what. You're going to find a Jadelight Ranger here with the Golgari Finebroker. This is my tough matchup, by the way. It's just so much value. And unfortunately, we hit yet another land, and it's not the land we actually want. I don't think I run out of Gruesome Menagerie quite yet. We do have 2 targets, but 2 targets are quite weak. I want another 3-drop target. Yeah, the flood is real. Now I don't want that land back on top of the library if I knew there was going to be more lands on top of the library. Opponent is really, really good with cards. Still doesn't have the Wild Growth Walker. The Molderhulk's going to give a little bit of a pain. We can still draw into some high impact cards. Even one of our lands left is pretty good too. Another Golgari Finebroker. Now I can't really attack in. What we need to hit off the top is we need to hit a zombie that gives my cards Death Touch. A Death Baron. I'll take a Death Baron and I will take a... I don't know what I'll take. That's weird to get back out of Llanowar. Llanowar I think is weak here. My opponent has got plenty of lands. Looking for that fine Finality, I'm sure. Midnight Reaper's fine. I just want cards. So, gonna double block with the Golgari Finebrokers. Yep. We get 2 cards. And we get rid of a Finebroker. And get in for damage, which is not relevant, but I need to draw towards more impact cards here. And unfortunately, there's a Creeping Chill there. If this can get back the land we want, decline this. We do get the Creeping Chill, though. Okay, without Mr. Wildgrowth Walker, we're in great shape. Do we get a 3-drop we can get back yet? Wow, all of our 3-drops are... We have 1 that we can attack in with next turn. Merfolk Branchwalker. Not so tough without Wildgrowth Walker. This is exactly... I feel ya, Sabara. This is exactly what happens when I play this deck. Wildgrowth Walkers are all on the bottom. Yeah, that's not really significant. I mean, it is. Plaguecrafter. Unfortunately, we hit another useless card, but we do get the Gruesome Menagerie back. And this will get us Midnight Reaper, Glowspore because we want to hit the Creeping Chills, and yep, and even the Stitcher Supplier. We want to hit Creeping Chills here, so we want to mill as much as humanly possible. We're going to actually reverse this just in case we do find the combo. Nope, decline. And we did not find what we wanted to find. Plaguecrafter can come out here. This will just kill a Merfolk Branchwalker, I'm assuming. Stitcher Supplier. And we'll mill first, then draw. Doesn't really matter. Gruesome, it did matter. Woohoo! Got us back a good card. Then we'll attack in with this guy because I still want... Nah. Alright, we're in great shape. Opponent's down in 8. We still have a Creeping Chill in hand and 2 more in the deck. So, opponent is definitely trying to hit that. A fine Finality 100% is my opponent's. No, okay. Can actually kill it to gain some life. To try to... Really needs to hit a Wildgrowth Walker here. We still have not hit a Death Baron. I can get one out next turn, though. Vraska is kind of pointless here. I think Vraska just kills Midnight Reaver. Ooh, that's interesting. hits another land. Alright, so we'll go Gruesome Menagerie. Bringing back Death Baron. Bringing back Glowspore Shaman. Bringing back Stitcher Supplier. And again, this direction, because I might actually want a card back on top. Nope, we still haven't found it. We do find the Creeping Chill. Take action. Combat. I'll attack at my opponent. They all have Death Touch except for the Glowspore Shamans. The Stitcher Suppliers have Death Touch. Needs to block on 3. My opponent's just dead here without the Creeping Chill. Opponent thinks they're going to a 1, I assume. Yeah. Yep. But we have the Creeping Chill. And ta-da! Vraska.deck. Now, here's the question. Do I bring in Vraska as my own? This is kind of tricky. We have no way to get rid of my opponent's graveyard. The Plaguecrafter is absolutely awful in this matchup. Gruesome Menagerie at least keeps up with them. Liliana Untouched by Death's good. Necrotic Wound's actually, this is pretty good. We need to hit those Wild Growth Walkers. So I think the Necrotic Wounds are necessary evil. I don't like the Diregraf Ghoul in this. I know that we're going down creature count by bringing out Diregraf Ghouls, which is kind of a non-bow. Vraska is another one that it's like, I'm not sure if Vraska is the right call or not over Molderhulk. Because now we get really low with creatures. I'm going to keep one Molderhulk and I am going to bring in Vraska. This is just a tough matchup. A Fine Finality is actually not that great in this deck. It doesn't really do a good job sweeping. It's the walkers, the Wild Growth Walkers and the Planeswalkers that give us an issue. It doesn't deal with either one of them. Yeah, again, this is just not a very good matchup for us. It's very, very tough. We are up a game. We're on the draw, though, which is not good. We do have some game. Do you know what actually I should have taken out is Creeping Chills? I forgot about that. Creeping Chills are bad in this matchup. Molderhulk's like I should keep in at least because they can yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I have to go the Creeping Chill route if I have any chance of doing anything. I mean, it's a guaranteed 12 damage. I'm assuming my opponent brings in... if I were them, I'd bring in the Thrashing Brontodons just because they're 3/4 bodies. And bring in some more Fine Finalities. And probably brings in some more control. Should be taking out Assassin's Trophy. Keepable. We do have a Creeping Chill stuck in our hand, but that's fine. Opponent does ship it back. Really, really digging for those Wild Growth Walkers, I'm assuming. Yeah, even bottom's a card. So, assuming my opponent's not in the greatest shape. Stitcher Supplier comes down. And unfortunately hits 2 incredibly good cards. So, Stitcher, you did not do your job this time. Opponent kept a 1-lander, though. Oh, wow. We're going to decline here. It's another Vraska. Jeez. Opponent has to hit a land here. It's bust. Hits the land. Hits a Merfolk Branchwalker. Fair. That's fair. Should keep the Secret Squire on top, I'd assume. It's good versus me. Yes. All right. Hey, stop it. Stop drawing the Creeping Chills. Okay, we get attacking at both. I'm sure the Merfolk Branchwalker is going to trade with the Glowspore Shaman. Opponent's down to a 17. The Glowspore Shaman, I might actually put it... No, I won't put a land back on top. Secret Squire needs to hit a land. Does hit a land. This allows us to attack in, though. Has a land or elf? Deadweight on a Death Baron. All right, that was a really good play by my opponent. Unfortunately for my opponent, I have the second Dead Baron, so at least I get to get in for some damage. Hopefully, though, I can quit milling high-impact cards. Jadelight Ranger, another very good card versus me. Unfortunately, though, it's coming out without... I probably throws this away with a Jadelight. Yep, and a Golgari from will also be thrown away. When it rains, it pours, my friends. So, I'm in pretty bad shape here. A Midnight Reaper's awful. Oh, that's an awful card for my opponent. With the hand that I have. Oh, we're in good shape just with the direct damage. Never mind, Liliana. Let's hit the last Vraska. Alright, Vraska, you are... Look at this. Creeping Chill stuck in hand. Vraska's in the graveyard. Can't ask for worse luck there. Should have attacked in. Why didn't I attack in? I'm not sure. I want to protect Liliana. That will be my excuse. I think I actually just passed turn after the tilt of Vraska. Vraska's going to kill Liliana, I'd assume. I don't agree with that play. I really do not agree with that play. Gruesome Menagerie, wow. That one did hit at least a Molderhulk. These to start giving cards to my opponent. I think I leave it back one more turn. No attackers. Get my opponent down to 3. Vraska has to kill Liliana here. No, it can't kill Liliana. Artifact, creature, enchantment. Awesome. These creating the menace is not where my opponent wants to be. Doom Whisper is also a card that it just doesn't really do much. So I believe I have the victory here. We will uptick Liliana. Hopefully it hits a card.
Into the grave.
It's another Creeping Chill. Are you kidding, though, that it didn't hit a zombie? So the Creeping Chills that I left in ended up winning the game. And we hit all 4 Creeping Chills. At least one of them hit the graveyard. And that does it. My opponent got kind of stuck on stuff. And there you have it. That was a competitive league. All those were serious decks. Yep, all those are legit Tier 1 decks that we beat. Only one loss was against Teferi. We get a Reassembly Skeleton, which is terrible. I guess you could put it in the deck. It does have synergy with the Death Baron. But we'll go ahead and claim our prize. 5-1 with the zombies. And we get 2,100 and 2 mythics. The first rare being an Alpha Moon, which is completely pointless in this meta. Then we get a Bone Dragon, which has synergy again with our deck. You could actually put a Bone Dragon in. I don't think you should, but you know, it could work. And we have a Doom Whisper, which I already have 4 of, so that goes towards my vault. That goes towards my vault eventually. And the problem with the 5 of Mythic, you won't hear me whine about the 5 of. These are free cards. Arena gives a plethora of freebies. So people that are complain about the economy, complain about the wildcard system. I think that it's a feel bad system when you do get 5s, but how many free mythics that you had 0 of do you get? And it evens out. So I am under the impression that Arena is a lot better economy than trying to look at the competitive decks I already have on this format. So I dumped $100 of my own money clear back in the day during the closed beta just to see how far $100 would get you, and it's pretty pathetic. And then a fan wanted me to build a deck for them and test it, so there was another $100 that was pumped in to build this Axis Veal deck. So this account has had $200 put into it, and I've just been playing just very casually, basically just my daily per day, and I already have almost all the fetch lands. Let's just go over here to collection, and let's even just click on Mythics. So go over to Mythic Rares. That's it. I mean, look at all the Mythic Rares that I've already been able to establish with just a little low investment comparatively to MTGO. Like I said, have all the Doom Whispers. Have all the Demon Lord Bellsnock. Haven't even redeemed one of them. Rekindling Phoenixes, same thing. Radicrew, Teferis, haven't redeemed them. Have an extra Teferi. Carnage Tyrant, that was not redeemed. That was something that just I earned. Same with Nullified Ferox. Same with Varric's Blade Wings. All these either through drafting. A lot of Mythics. Did not redeem a Vraska. This was from playing an open beta or closed beta. These ones were just drafted. Same thing. What do we have? Rowls. I still not have that many Rals? Oh, there they are. Yeah, I have Rals. Vraska there that was not redeemed. Plenty of cards. Diregraf was not redeemed. Neither was Chromium. Of cards now that have just been freebies. So if you were to put the value of these type of cards into MTG, I'm probably way behind of how much these would have cost. So I don't know. It's legitimate. It feels bad when you get that 5th Mythic, especially the Vault is so slow. I don't have any wild cards at the moment. You can see I redeemed them all for this last deck that I built, which was the Treasure Red. So I redeemed everything for this Treasure Red deck. Finished off a bunch of stuff. Redeemed some Karns and stuff. I think that's the deck that I finished off. But anyway, I don't know. I'm under the impression that Arena gives you plenty of freebies if you're willing to. And I still have 9,300 gems. Keep that in mind. Which I don't know. How much is 9,000 gems? If we were to purchase gems, 9,000 gems would be $50. So I still have $50 worth of value. So for $150, that's what's been accomplished in the short time it's been in open beta. So anyway, that's my response rebuttal to some people, tasty stackies, that are really upset about the 5th Mythic problem. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this match. The deck was awesome. Awesome showing with it. It was a very fun. If I were to change anything after this fact, maybe go up in the Plaguecrafters down the Molderhulks. Molderhulks are impressive, but I don't know if there's something you want to have a 4 of. A 2 of is probably the right number. And go up in Plaguecrafters. I think Plaguecrafters was definitely a really potent card against certain matchups. Drop a Vraska, probably put something else in the sideboard to give more a play versus control, duresses, Argos Bloodfast, things like that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. This has been Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Decklist will be up at roguedeckbuilder.com. You can actually purchase this in paper if you so choose. And appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching.